One Tin Soldier, or how I performed a murderhoboectomy on my party. This story was dredged from my memory by someone asking a question about basing a RPG adventure on a song, lyric, or band. This particular story happened in 1986 or 87, so it was first edition AD&D, so my references may be a bit dated for some of you. I'd been DMing since the original box set came out, so I was used to players being pretty bloodthirsty, but they were pretty high level by this time and had been getting pretty over the line for a while, having contests to see who could kill the highest number, or the most gruesome death inflicted, etc. I felt I needed something to rein them in, and show them what they were becoming.
Listen, people, to a story that was written long ago, about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folks below.
The party arrives in a small kingdom in a valley at the foot of a large mountain range. The Valley Kingdom, though obviously poor, was welcoming to such powerful adventurers, opening their homes and hearths to such mighty heroes, telling them that their reputations had preceded them, and all heard of their mighty deeds. My players were eating it up like candy. Usually, they were treated like pariahs because of their history of death and destruction, but a place that treated them as they always felt they should had become their new favorite place on the planet. They were a bit suspicious when they were summoned to a meeting with the king, but were so powerful they were sure that this little backwater was no threat to them. The king was welcoming, and, like his people, treated the party like long-lost sons. He then regaled them with his story.
On the mountain was a treasure, hidden deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own.
The king told them that the Mountain King was fabulously wealthy, and he and his people were greedy, and refused to share the treasures of the mountain with their less fortunate brethren below. He said that the mountain people were more powerful than the people of the valley, but with the party's help, they could take that treasure and share it with them.
So the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they'd kill.
The king waved a crumpled letter from his tunic, and told the players,
I even sent a letter to the Mountain King, begging him for help for my people.
The king had tears in his eyes and told the players the Mountain King's letter told them
to screw off,
and he had to watch his people starve and die because of the mountain people's greed and refusal to share. By this time, the players were really worked up. They all agreed to help, and the king dubbed the fighter the general of the army, and the thief the colonel of the scouts, putting every soldier, scout, and every resource of the kingdom under the command of the players. It took very little time for them to come up with a plan, and they rallied the troops and led them up the road to the Mountain Kingdom.
Now, the valley cried with anger, Mount your horses and draw your swords. And they killed the mountain people, so they won their just rewards.
The spells of the two wizards easily breached the outer defenses of the Mountain Kingdom, and the fighter, cleric, and the soldiers of the valley poured into the city. Blood ran in the streets as the players carved their way through the defenders, and the soldiers ran rampant over the civilian population. The thief had snuck into the Mountain King's fortress and opened the gates from the inside, allowing the fighter, leading the Valley King and his royal guard to confront the Mountain King. The fighter cut the Mountain King down in a brutal fashion, and the thief located the hidden chamber of riches. The party noticed that the treasure was beneath a great rock that could only be moved with ropes and pulleys. Using their strongest players, they lifted up the rock to reveal the treasure.
Now, they stood beside the treasure, on the mountain, dark and red, turned the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said.
My players looked down the stone, and for the first time it dawned on them that they were just now immortalized in song, and they were not the heroes. My fighter looked at me in horror and just screamed, not yelled, screamed. He picked up his dice and cut down the Valley King in a few rounds. The rest of the party was able to kill the entirety of the Royal Guard, while the fighters searched the Valley King's body. I thought this would happen, so already had the prop ready, and handed the letter to the fighter.
Came an answer from the kingdom. With our brothers we all share all the secrets of the mountain, and all the riches buried there.
I swear, the cleric, who had just been boasting at how many kills he had gotten, carving through the mountain people, looked almost like he was about to cry. All of us loved music, and this song was everywhere in our youth. I was shocked that they couldn't have figured it out before they moved that dang rock. They exited out of the fortress to see that the valley soldiers had killed every man, woman, and child. The last words of the party were, "We're leaving this whole area. Screw these people." We missed a few sessions as everyone claimed to be busy, but I was pretty sure that they were all talking to each other. We got together a few weeks later, and the players told me that they wanted to retire this campaign and restart our Villains and Vigilante Superhero RPG campaign, because everyone needed to feel like a straight-up hero for a little bit. And no game after that were they ever as bad again. So all's well that ends well. Well, guys, nothing like a little bit of genocide to sort out your murderous players. I actually rather enjoyed the idea of this particular little scenario and the fact it came from a song, and it makes me wonder how many different scenario ideas you could come up with from songs alone. But in any case, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have a story that you'd like me to narrate, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a good one.